G'day viewers, it's Mrs. PB from Mrs. PB Retro Restorations. This week PB is showing you his build of the DDA Collectibles HQ Holden Kingswood. Why am I telling you this, you may ask? Well, it's Father's Day this weekend in Australia and PB has built a replica of my dad's HQ from when my sister and I were kids. That's us on the boot lid. And PB, being the kind, handsome, benevolent, gifted, amazing person he is, I think Captain Australia might have written this rot. Anyway, we plan to give it to Dad on Sunday. Happy Father's Day, Dad. And to all the other dads out there in PB Retro Restoration Land.
Thanks, Mrs. PB, or whatever your real name is. This Build Invitational is an event co-hosted by myself and KC from Metal Mania 3D. And KC and CC have been a bit quiet lately. They've both been in the wars health-wise of late, and I know he's a private person and won't want his dramas broadcast over the internet. Suffice to say, Mrs. PB and I are thinking of you both, and we hope to hear from you soon and see you back on deck when you're up to it. Don't forget, we're going to have a slideshow video on Sunday of the photos of cool builds I've received. So far Johnny V is the only one to send me pics, but I'm recording this on the 28th, so no doubt the avalanche of images will arrive by the time you're watching this. So stay tuned for that, and let's get
Crack-a-lackin'!
Crack-a-lackin'. There's one in every town.
Happy Father's Day, PB.
I'm not rich in the money sense, viewers, but I'm rich in 70s eskies, as you can see. I got one out. I took some nice, clear, straight-on photos of it, and I turned them into decals for my 3D printed esky that I'm going to put in the boot, because, as any Australian knows, no HQ is complete without a proper metal esky in the boot. Right? Right. Another feature of Paul's HQ is Venetian blinds in the rear window. These are a common accessory on many 60s and 70s Australian cars, and probably around the world. So I designed some in Tinkercad, and I printed them out and painted them, and they came out pretty good. So good, in fact, that I've made them available for purchase on my Colts 3D website. Go and check it out. There's a link in the description. I'm going to jump in here and say that the only really difficult part of this build was not putting the engine together itself, but getting the radiator and everything together, and also putting the spark plug wires from the Dizzy into the proper plug holes. Call me thick, it was a real challenge for me. I went and checked out Johnny V's video where he showed us the die-cast version of the kit, and that was the only way I was able to work it out for myself. So thanks, Johnny V. It was an immense help. In my unboxing video, if you've seen it, I mistakenly said there didn't appear to be any Kingswood badges or 202 decals or anything like that. Obviously I was wrong, they are included, and they are brilliant decals, they're really good, but these are the only decals included. If I had a complaint, it'd be that, maybe we could have had the engine decals, the air cleaner decals, a couple little things like that, but that's a minor gripe. And the decals that are here went on real good, and they look nice too. Overall, the body didn't need too much cleanup in my experience. I had a little bit of flash on the guard, which looked like where they changed the moulds to put the flutes in for the GTS models, but no, apart from that, didn't need an awful lot of cleanup. Ready for paint. Something I wasn't a big fan of was the supplied hubcaps, so I designed my own in Tinkercad with a proper GMH logo in the middle and a little bit more like the shape they should be. I'll talk about it some more down the track. Here's my 3D printed esky, all painted. Just drilling some holes in the side to put a handle that I made out of a paper clip. I think at one stage I kidded myself into thinking I could make tiny cans for it as well. That's why I made it with an opening lid. But obviously that was a daft idea and I didn't do it. A happy accident with the decals was because I took a photo of one of my rougher eskies. It came with some pre-installed patina and weathering, so I didn't have to do any weathering to the esky because the decals were of a ratty esky. It came out looking like a ratty esky, which is exactly the look I wanted. So whenever Paul would ask me how my HQ build was going, he'd say things like, "Oh, you're going to paint it green? You're going to paint it green?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Probably. But of course I was going to paint it green." Mrs. PB and I found this proper factory green colour that SMS Paints make to match the original HQ green when we were on holidays in Melbourne. It was the only bottle on the counter. It's the only bottle of it I've ever seen, like over the counter in a few places. So it was serendipitous and a blessing that I was able to get exactly the right green the HQ needed to be. So yes, Paul, sorry I told you some fibs and said I wasn't sure what colour I was painting it. I knew exactly what colour I was painting it. It had to be our special secret. As I mentioned in the unboxing video, this kit doesn't come with any of the parts pre-chromed. You have to paint the chrome yourself, so I used a gloss base coat blown over with Molotow chrome. I think it gives the best finish, like a really proper chrome finish. So I use that on my 3D printed hubcaps as well, blackwash the centres, and they are looking the part. Here is the end results of me wet sanding the HQ. I forgot to film myself doing it, but it's not very exciting anyway. And on with another coat. I was touched. I won't say humbled because it's hard to be humble when you're me. You know, to find the DDA had left a tribute to me on nearly every page of the manual. I think that's what it was, or they were telling me to get screwed, or I might just have delusions of grandeur. Let me know in the comments what you think about my mental state. These are the hubcaps that came with it. They're not bad, don't get me wrong, but they didn't quite look like HQ hubcaps to me, so I designed some on a 3D printer. Got the Lion logo in it, I think it's shaped a little bit better. They probably still stick a bit proud compared to like actual ones, but I'm quite pleased with them. I think they look good. Oh, that pushed on easier than I thought it would. The spare tyre in this shouldn't have a hubcap on at all. It should just be a bare steel rim. But because this rear wheel is held in with a screw, I just ended up plumbing for the hubcap that came with it, because I'd only made 4 of them for the car, which wasn't terribly bright. And it turned out later that the only thing that screw is for is holding that wheel in, so I could have put a standard steely in there and just glued it on. Now, the bonnet. You may notice here it's not so bad. One of the corners started lifting up a bit, and after I fitted it and screwed it in, it started lifting a little bit more. And I tried adjusting it and playing with it a bit, and I guess I should have done a test fit of it all beforehand. So, but I did get it to sit flat using a secret method called blue tack in the corner just to hold it down. So don't kid yourself, viewers. I've fixed it now, but yeah, it was a bit of a pain. I found the glass fitment to be excellent. It goes in from the outside, as you can see here, and those side windows, and kind of the front and rear too, they almost friction fit. The side ones definitely did. The rear ones were pretty close too. I did put some glue on top just to be safe and sound, of course, but a really nice fit. I initially thought that the free tweezers that are included in the kit were a nice touch, but that was it. But as I progressed with assembling this, a pair of tweezers is absolutely a lifesaver, dropping the screws into little places. Because I've got something wrong with me, it would have been hard at the best of times, but the tweezers really helped me out. This little length of metal here, I'm guessing is, like for propping the hood up if you want to display it with the hood open. But my impatience and my got the better of me, and I couldn't get it to go in where it was supposed to. And that's not a criticism of DDA's kit. That's because I'm hopeless. You'll watch it drop out here after I thought I had it fitted in. So you know, I used my discretion and just didn't put it in. It worked out well for me. I went pre-73 with mine, did the frosted indicators as opposed to the orange ones that the later ones were mandated to have. So this HQ was known as OIC the HQ because of the OIC licence plate, so we couldn't let it go without having a custom set of Queensland black and whites made for it. So if you hadn't noticed already, the boot lid isn't hinged. It doesn't have any provisional parts to hinge it, it just sits on top, which is cool. I'm glad it opens. It gives you an opportunity to dress it right up if you want to. As you can see here, viewers, the bonnet didn't want to sit flat. I knew if I pulled it all apart again and tried to fix it, I'd probably just make it worse, or I might break it. So I'm just going to tolerate it. Did the reflectors. I didn't colour them in for the glamour shots. I forgot. I have since gone and painted them the red and orange. I'll have to throw in here, viewers, that in my unboxing video I said it's a shame there's no decals or anything with it. But there is, and I apologise, there's the 202 traumatic, bit of a Holden joke there for you viewers, traumatic badges and all the Kingswood. Alright, and just like that, as if by magic, with no grief or trouble whatsoever, we're done. Right, so your absolute last chance to get your picks in is by 5 PM Eastern Standard PB time today, Friday 1st, 2023 for Sunday's slideshow. Go, go, go! Father's Day GMH stuff doesn't end this week, viewers. Next week I have my first all-resin, entirely 3D printed build by request for personal buddy and friend of the channel Deb, or Deborah as she prefers to be called, right Deb? Or more to the point, Deb's dad, and it's another 70s Aussie classic, so don't miss it. Have a great day. I'll see you all again on Sunday. I'll give you all my well wishes then. But have a great weekend up to that point, and I'll talk to you again soon.